Hi guys, this is Miss Bofice, and today we're going to do one-step equations with rational coefficients. Yesterday you did one-step equations just straight up, but today we're going to do rational coefficients, which means just decimals and fractions. So our I can statement, I can solve equations with rational coefficients using the inverse operations. We are preparing for AEE7. So you guys have done one-step and two-step equations before in 6th and 7th grade, so we're just doing a review to get us ready for next week. And then I also included a picture of my doggies. I just got them a costume there yesterday. They're going to be bats, as you can tell. In the back, that's Bucky, and then in the front, that's Bender. If you follow us on Instagram, you probably have seen our dogs, but I just wanted to put the Instagram handles right there, Mrs. Bofice or Miss Dupe Math. You can follow us. It's our teacher Instagrams. We post funny stuff. At least we think we're funny. You probably don't, but that's okay. So here we go. First, we're going to review just the parts of an equation. So when you have a number all by itself, like 85, that is called your constant. So a number all by itself is called a constant. The letter is called the variable. So the letter is the variable. It's the unknown. We don't know what's happening to it. And then when you have something attached to the variable, that is called your coefficient. So when your coefficient is being multiplied onto the variable. So those are three vocab terms that you're going to want to keep in your brain because you'll see it for the next week and a half, 2 weeks while we do equations. And then we're going to also say the word isolate a lot. When you isolate something, what do you do? If I say I'm isolating you, that means you get it all by itself. So you're going to get whatever all by itself. Nothing else is attached to it. So no other letters or no other numbers. So you want to get the letter all by itself. So instead of 5m, you want just m. Instead of 2/3 x, you just want x. So we're going to isolate. We also talk about inverse. Inverse just means opposite. So we're going to figure out what's happening to the variable and we're going to do the opposite operation. So inverse means opposite. Here we go. We have 0.45m equals 3.15. So currently, the current operation that's happening is multiplication, 0.45 times m. The inverse, or the opposite, is to divide. So we're going to go ahead and isolate the m by dividing by 0.45. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I divide by 0.45 on each side. The whole goal is to get variables by themselves, the m by itself. So I'm going to go ahead and cross out because 0.45 over 0.45 is just 1. So 1m equals, and then we just do what it says, 3.15 divided by 0.45, which is 7. So m equals 7. All right, the second one, we have 4.9 equals 0.7m. We find the variable first. The variable this time is on the right-hand side. And I ask myself, what's happening? Well, it's being multiplied by 0.7. The inverse or the opposite is to divide. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 0.7 on both sides. Because whatever I do to one side, I have to do the other. And then on the right-hand side, the 0.7 over 0.7 cancels. That's just 1. So 1m equals, and then in our calculator, we do 4.9 divided by 0.7, and we also get 7. So when you have 1m, that's just the same thing as m. It's the invisible one, but m equals 7. Or you can write it the other way. M equals 7, whichever you prefer. So that is all you are doing. Next up, we have division. So we find our variable. Our variable is a. We see a is divided by 5.8. So the current operation is to divide. To get rid of that, we have to do the inverse, which is to multiply. So instead of dividing by 5.8, we're going to multiply by 5.8. And whatever we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So times 5.8. On the left-hand side, these cancel, and you're left with just a. And then in our calculator, we do 3 times 5.8, and we get our answer to be 17.4. So a equals 17.4. On the right-hand side, we ask, okay, where's our variable? It's k. It's being multiplied by negative 5.6, not subtracted. That's just a negative number. And the inverse, or the opposite, is to divide. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by negative 5.6 on one side and then the other side, because whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. On the left-hand side, those k, or the 5.6's cancel, and we're left with just k. And then we do negative 12.88 divided by negative 5.6, and we get k to be 2.3. So those are your decimal rational coefficients. We're going to talk about fractions next. So for fractions, we always use the ABC button on your calculator. So your ABC button looks like this. ABC on your calculator, it's in the second column, 3 down, right above the word sign, SIN, or right next to data, or diagonally across from pi. So make sure you have your ABC button because it's going to be your best friend. To put 1/2 into your calculator, you would just type 1 ABC2. So 1 ABC2. And if you hit enter, it shows up on your calculator screen like that. If you need to do a mixed number, remember a mixed number has both a whole and a fraction, you would just use the ABC button twice. So you would hit 6 ABC3 ABC4. So if we practice that in our calculator, 6 ABC3 ABC4, and then hit enter, it's going to show up something like this, 6, and then this little U, and then 3/4. That just means 6 3/4. So that's how the calculator uses it. To do divisions, like if you were going to divide these two numbers, you're just going to use the ABC button a whole heck of a lot. So to do 6 3/4, you would do 6 ABC3 ABC4 to get 6 3/4. Divided by, you just hit the division symbol, 1/2, so 1 ABC2, and then hit enter. So if you were to type this into your calculator, you should have your calculator in your hand, 6 ABC3 ABC4 divided by 1 ABC2, and then hit enter, and it would give you this 13U and then 1/2. That just means 13 1/2. So this is how it looks on your calculator. This is how you write it. So here we go. We have 12 equals negative 1/5 A. Our A is the variable, so currently there is multiplication happening. The inverse is to divide. So we're going to divide by whatever's on the A, which is negative 1/5. So I'm going to divide by negative 1/5. And whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So divide by negative 1/5. On the right-hand side, the 1/5 end up canceling. So we have A all by itself. We isolated it. And then we do 12 divided by negative 1 ABC5 to get that 1/5 into our calculator. And we get negative 60. So again, to type that into your calculator, you would do 12 divided by negative 1 ABC5. Negative 9 5/8 A equals 108. So again, our variables on the left-hand side. We have multiplication going on, so we're going to divide to get the variable by itself. So I'm going to divide by whatever's on the variable. So divide by negative 9 5/8. Whatever I do to one side, I absolutely have to do to the other. So negative 9 5/8. These end up canceling, and we are just left with A. And then to put this into our calculator, 108 divided by negative 9 ABC5 ABC8. And then we get negative 11 and then 17/77. But that's not how it looks on your calculator. So again, if we were to do 108 divided by, you would hit negative 9 ABC 5 ABC 8, and then hit enter. And on your calculator, it looks like this, negative 11, this little U, and then 17/77. But to write that, you would just write it like this, negative 11 and then 17/77. All right, we have 1 7/8 y equals negative 4 1/2. Our variable is y. It's currently having multiplication, so the inverse is to divide. We divide by whatever's on the variable. So on this variable, we have 1 7/8, so 1 7/8. And whatever we do to one side, we absolutely have to do to the other so that the equation stays balanced. On the left-hand side, these cancel, and we're left with y. And then this is the ABC button. We're going to use this a lot. So to put this into your calculator, you're going to do negative 4 ABC1 ABC2. So let's do that. -4, ABC1, ABC2, and then divided by. And then we're going to do 1, ABC7, ABC8. So 1, ABC7, ABC8, and then hit enter. And we get -2 and 2 fifths. But that's not how it looks on your calculator. It looks like this on your calculator. -2, the little u, and then 2 fifths. That's just how it shows on your calculator. This is how you write it, like normal, like a mixed number. So that is everything to do with rational coefficients. It should be a review. You just use your calculator. If it's multiplication, you hit division. If it's division, you do multiplication. Remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And that is it.